Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this very special stream. I will bring up first our dear Renee Jaworski.
Hello.
Hello, Renee. How are you tonight?
I'm doing fine, and I'm very
That
excited to
is
see
awesome.
your live directorial debut, right? So this is
Yes.
exciting.
Well, I had about a quarter of one Tuesday night with It's Casual, but then my internet said, haha, nope. So,
So now
but
we're making it right with
now,
this. This is
yeah,
even
now we're
better.
going to make it right. And you will notice above you the Tardanverse logo because
I know, it's
this will
wonderful.
be the debut video in the Tardanverse YouTube and technically our maiden voyage into the
We need to have
Tardanverse.
like a champagne bottle
I
to
was
smash
gonna say
against
the
the
same
side
thing.
of.
There should be confetti flying, lighters in the air. It should be
Yay! Let's just hope it's not Titanic, Let's just hope
yes.
it's
Let's hope it's not Titanic. So, Renee, me and you are here because we have a superstar
I know.
in
I
our
can't believe
midst.
she's here. I can't
Yeah,
believe she's here. This is crazy. This
we
is
have a
awesome.
superstar in our
Yes,
midst. And oh my God,
seriously.
y'all, she is, when I tell you that she is the human form of a hurricane, I'm not even
Yes.
kidding. This lady is I'll say she is Patton-esque, y'all. When she puts her
Yes.
mind on something, it's gonna work. She's gonna manifest it, and she don't care what wall she might have to knock down to get there. Holy
She
cow!
comes
And
in on a wrecking ball is what she
yes,
does.
she
She's the
does.
wrecking ball. If you have a wall,
Yes,
she will
she
knock it down.
does. And with her being a fellow 20-something, it
Yes.
really inspires me to be better and to up my game and to get off my ass and do better. And Renee, you're
She's
gonna have to help.
motivated.
You're gonna have to help me with her last name because she's gonna laugh and roll her eyes when I say this, but the pronunciation of her last name intimidates me.
My last name is the same way. My whole life, no one
Here's
can pronounce
well,
my
here's the thing. The
Chiachia.
word
Chiachia.
here's the thing
She'll
though.
correct us when she comes on.
Here's the thing, though. Jaworski might be worth 38 points in Scrabble, but at least it's easily pronounceable.
It okay. Well, she'll help us, because she's
Chiachia.
also yeah. Well,
Okay,
I think
so
that's pretty good.
ladies
Here
and
she comes.
gentlemen, without further ado, Ray, I wish you had your drumsticks there so you could do a drum roll. Drum roll, please. Olive Chiachia.
There she is!
Hello, Olive. Hello,
And
Olive.
she's a felon tardaner or tardaner. Let's say
Felon?
tardaner.
Did you just say
A
felon
fellow. No, she's a
tardaner?
fellow tardaner.
You said
She's a fellow
felon.
tardaner.
You said felon. You're painting her in this weird light already.
Help us with your last name. It's Chiachia.
It's close. It's Chiachia.
Chiachia.
Oh,
There
M
you
okay.
like
go.
car, and then chia like a chia pet. No one says it right. Listen, half my boyfriends never said it right. So.
I think it's cool when you have a name
It
that
is.
could go either way.
Flatter me though. Thank you.
We love you.
I'm
We
a
She's
little
a
do
bit
love
model.
you.
and
She's
I
an
guess you could say
actor.
that.
I mean, let me just say, okay, look, so she's a director, she's a writer, she's a producer, but she's also, okay, wait, hold on. She's an actor too. She's a model, obviously, which you can tell. She knows
Yes.
about the fashion universe. She knows about real estate. She knows about business. She knows about the entertainment industry generally. What else can I even add to that, Olive? What else can I add? Because it's like you do
Well,
everything. I've never known you to not be
I've
able to
done
do
a lot
something.
of I've definitely enjoyed sampling for quite some time, but really right now, so I guess I've worn many hats. I definitely can't deny that. Actually, my first career was as a therapist, and I switched over during the pandemic. And now while I was a therapist, I was doing a lot of modeling. I did a lot of runway overseas and some here too. But I've really honed in and finally, so something that I think myself and a lot of creative minds struggle with is just really getting like focusing on like one creative thing at once. So I finally
Yes.
really figured that out, and I've really honed in on producing and on film acting in episodic comedies. So I'm really really honed in. I'm not doing as much of the other stuff anymore. So I'm pretty much full time in the creative space right now, which has been really, really amazing.
Yay!
And I have to give a lot of my credit to Renee, who has been cheerleading me the entire time. So
I have pom-poms and everything. It's a whole thing. I have a whole routine. Give me an give me an O. Because she's awesome. You know, I want to say, like, so the first time I met her was in an acting class, Chris Neville's acting class. And I still remember the moment that I met her because she's like this gorgeous model and all that. And I remember she introduced herself as a model, but she said, like, I do a lot of Girl Next Door and I do a lot of quirky roles and stuff like that. And I remember her saying that and also just being so brilliant and bright and confident, but in a humble way, right? So she's not arrogant, but you know that she believes in herself. And I was like, who is this person? She's, you know, it's very rare that you remember the moment you meet someone, but she's that magnetic. She drew me in, and now I'm obsessed with her all the time.
Yes.
So what happened? Thank you, Renee. So what happened was me and Renee met. It was like a little, I think like June of 2020. So it was like in the pandemic. It was actually right around. So I have at this point, I've done some theater. I was really heavily into like runway. I actually, at the beginning of the pandemic, I had COVID in Milan at Fashion Week. So I started the pandemic in Milan during
Nobody knew about COVID at that point, right?
Yeah,
basically, you were one of the first.
And then what happened was Renee and I connected in my first acting class. So I connected with this really cool actor that's local. And I was like, you know what? I'm done with I was starting to really struggle with like body image and just like there's a lot of the modeling industry that just wasn't like my vibe. And I have so much respect for it still, but there's just the things you see, especially in overseas fashion, you just can't unsee. And I was like, you know what? This is like so skinny privileged and so white privileged. I really want to switch to acting. Acting's been my love since I was a kid, but I was just like too scared to do it. And then there was a global pandemic. So I was like, well, fuck it. Might as well try. So my first acting class, I met Renee, this beautiful woman, and we just like were instantly sisters. And we were like, we're going to do all these awesome things. And we are. So
yeah, we literally are doing them.
We are. We're literally doing them. So when I met Renee, she was doing, so Renee, we haven't introduced, I know many people that are here already know Renee, not everybody maybe. So Renee
not everybody.
A producer, a writer, a lawyer. Hello.
Yes, overall
it's like
badass.
You being a realtor. It's like you being a realtor too. Like that's the cool thing. Like Olive and I are both like left and right brains. So
yeah, we are
really weird. Yeah,
we're a little nuts. So yeah, but Renee started this network just very recently. Yeah. And yeah, she is our sister from another mister. I'm seeing one of the comments pop up. Oh, so that's how that
Thank you.
So we just like instantly bonded. And then we were like, so you moved to LA, right? And then she was like, yep. And I was like, me too. And we're like, let's go.
We have to have a residence in LA because people gave up during the pandemic. They said it was going to change everything. And it changed a lot. But honestly, we still need to have a base in LA. It doesn't mean we have to be there full time or anything. I know that like we're always going to probably be bi-coastal, but we have to have something there. And we have so many people on ground there. What we did also is after Chris Neville's class, we ended up in Michelle Danner's class. And Michelle Danner is another one of these iconic acting coaches, legendary. She's worked with everybody. And we fell in love with her. She fell in love with us. It was a fantastic thing. We did a lot in her class and we learned a lot and gained a lot. But Michelle now is opening, more like face-to-face. Like people are going back to face-to-face slowly but surely. So Olive and I want to make sure that we're doing that as well as the virtual.
Exactly. So we have had a plan in place that once things kind of like the stars align this year, 2022, we are getting
2022
around in LA. So we're really excited about that. That's going to be really fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
So, but that's been, so we've just kind of always supported each other in our big creative endeavors. And it's so funny because like we just met one time. Like we met, like it was like we met in like acting class, and then we were like, so like roommates, right? Like
we're like together forever, right? Until we die, and then after we die.
Yeah.
But I do want to say this: like Olive is an amazing actor, and I just want to say, there's one moment that sticks out in my mind from Chris Neville's acting class, actually,
Mhm.
is we were doing a Meisner exercise, or actually it's an Adner exercise. It's called Three Entrances. And you had to come in and do like, you have to come in 3 different times into the room. And so for one of them, Olive chose that she was going to basically cry, collapse, be a total wreck. You don't know any backstory. It's an acting exercise. She came in and she did it so intensely that everybody's jaw was just on the floor. And then when we come back to us, it's like Chris Neville's there, like, well, and we're all just like, it stopped.
Damn.
It was like a showstopper. She sold it. Like, so she's funny and she's quirky and all that, and she's beautiful, but don't get it twisted. This girl has the acting chops of anyone who's
Oh,
ever
yes.
won an Oscar. She digs deep. And I was like, girl, how did you eat? Like, what were you even drawing on? Like, how do you fucking pull that out of a hat?
I've had
I don't even know.
So
So I think that we can either segue into that, or John's been wanting to ask something forever.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I was wanting to know what kind of steered the both of you into the world of acting. Because I know both of you are very prolific in terms of being actresses.
So for me, it's been kind of my whole life. It's been really like a big part of who I was. Like, I remember when I was 3, I was in this talent show. My mom told me, and I had to sing this song called Babyface. And I guess I got on stage and everyone was like, wow, what just happened? Olive just like blew up on stage. And I fell in
Wow.
love with the stage. And then I had to get away from it for a while. So I had kind of a rocky upbringing, which, I mean, oh, surprise, surprise, I'm an actress with a rocky upbringing. So I spent a lot of time in group homes. I spent time in, hospitals and in foster care even, and things like that. And it really distracted me from like where I really wanted to go with my life. And I think the bigger problem there was that when you suffer a lot in your childhood, what like many actors and many people do, you lose the confidence to do something that's really brave. So like, we're not taking the 9 to 5 approach at life. We are going in, we are devouring our dreams and like hoping they work. You know what I mean? So like, we are just going for it and like here for it. So it's not a safe route though. And I think that you need a lot of confidence, but not like an arrogant amount, but you need to believe that you can do it. And I didn't believe I could do it for a lot of those times. I didn't believe I could do anything. I was like, most people told me they were shocked I'd graduate high school. So I was like, I mean, there's no way I'm going to go try and be an actress. So I think that the biggest thing for me was just working on myself enough to have the courage to follow my dreams and to know that I could make it.
Wow. And that story, as well as Renee's, is just so inspiring to me as someone who's only a few years younger than you, but has been through a lot like you have. To hear that coming from someone who gets it, it just really makes my heart feel warm.
I'm so glad.
So grateful.
And honestly, I think that the best experience you can have as an actor is life experience. And every time I'm very methodical in my acting. I do a whole lot of substitution, which is one of the techniques. And I use all the experiences I went through. I mean, I was previously disabled. I've had, I actually used to not be able to walk. There was a period of my early 20s. I've had a lot. And all of it has proven to be a blessing because I think it's the only reason that I was able to act. So wow. It's been, you get a really nice big bucket of things to pull on. So instead of being like, oh, all this stuff really messed me up, I'm like, all this stuff has given me so much to work with. Even my mom is even like, when something bad happens, I go, oh my God, did that really just happen? Like, did something awful? Like I recently had a suicide attempt in my family. It was really hard. Yeah. And like not too recently. And then that was, it was a few years ago, but I was like, how am I going to get through this? This is really challenging. And then, in fact, what happened was they, my mom was like, this is something that you can actually use. Like this is, I mean, the best thing you can do now is just share your story with others through writers' visions.
Yes. And I'm learning to do that. And I'm so happy that you are going to be doing this in a way through your brand new show here on in the Tardanverse, The Abundant Artist. Tell us a little bit about how you got that idea and what your vision is for it going forward.
So I'm going to be doing something called, oh no, I started streaming from, oh dear, what am I doing? I'm sorry. I think
would it be a stream in TMN without at least one tech issue?
What just happened? I'm sorry, my phone started doing something.
That's all good.
Okay, so I've been very, very blessed in the last few years. I wasn't really coming from like a great place in my life. I was unemployed and I was struggling with like an eating disorder after like too much modeling. And I didn't have a house anymore because I subletted it for a job that got taken from the coronavirus. Like it was a mess. And what I really ended up doing was honing in on my spiritual practice and working really hard to use things similar to the law of attraction and to really create a connection between creativity and spirituality to make my own abundance in my life. So I always wanted to be a full-time artist, no matter what the medium was. I've always been drawn to art, and I wanted to do it in a way that I never liked the term starving artist. That always bothered me because I was like, artists are giving, they shouldn't be starving. So what I decided to do was to mix together a lot of the spiritual practices that I've learned. And I mixed those spiritual practices with my art, which is for me performance art. And I kind of created a way to manifest abundance in my life as an artist. So now I'm able to work full time in less than a few years. I've been able to like build up enough work for myself and be cast in the parts that I really want to be. And I find I really contribute a lot of it to my connection to the universe. And it's my, my hard work, but I do think that I've used a lot of like, let's say like universal tricks or something, like tools to manifest, also with my company, All of Us Media. So I have like my own production company, and I've been able to work with some really amazing clients through that. And I'm working with a new one that's in LA, super crazy, that like is like strangely connected to one of my first clients. Like it's like the same exact niche, but like I didn't even like choose that niche. Like the niche kind of chose me. So just kind of like rolling with the flow of the universe and ending up where you are supposed to end up while finding as much joy as you can through your craft, and creating financial abundance. So it's going to be called the Abundant Artists. And I'm just going to be teaching people how to create abundance and hopefully financial abundance too, because that's always the day job thing is just the hardest part.
Yes.
It's like, okay, we figured out the art, but like, how do we pay for it? So I don't know if it's going to work for everybody. I'm like, I can't be like, you're going to make $1 million tomorrow. But like, but I just, I definitely think that, I mean, I don't push myself really. I don't try very hard. And I've come into a lot of really wonderful fortune. So I just want to be able to share what I've learned and everything that I've manifested with all of you. So you can also manifest the lives that you want and to live in as much joy as you can.
Olive, one thing more, and then I'll turn it over to Renee here. Is there an art form that you would like to do in your time? I know you've got a lot of life ahead of you, Lord willing, but what's something you would like to pursue artistically?
I really want to explore voiceovers more. I recently did one actually. It was like, it was one of those things where I just manifested it. Like it just came out of the sky. And it was a national voiceover. And I loved it. I had so much fun. And I never even thought of it like, oh, I'm going to like talk. Because I was always scared of reading, like when we had to read out loud as a kid in school, and the teacher would call on you and be like, okay, you need to read the next paragraph. That never went well for me. My dyslexia is pretty rough. Like I hated it. So I never thought in a million years I'd love voice acting, but it's really fun. So I think that's it.
Yeah, and I know the spot you're talking about, and you did such a great job. It was like so professional. It
Oh,
was so
thank
awesome. Oh my gosh, like everything you do is professional, by the way. I do want to say this, like, because I was talking a little bit earlier about how you and I both kind of vibe on this like right and left brain. And to me,
you.
that's like really cool because a lot of people can be very creative and quirky and all of that, right? But they might lack the business skills or the stick to itness that we need, that you really need,
Absolutely.
and the business mind. Like you really have to, in the arts, it's really incumbent on us to market ourselves, believe in ourselves, and then be consistent. And then also to sort of like be your own little cheerleader sometimes, because whenever you choose to go into the arts, we know that the people closest to us, even other creative minds, will often be like, well, that's weird. Why don't you just do the 9 to 5? It's so much easier to just stick with the 9 to 5. And so that's something that really pulled me in with you as well. And one of the reasons why I believe in you so much, because you're not just creative, but you also know you have that determination and the dedication to really see something come to its completion. I know you don't like little like hanging loose ends. You like to complete projects.
I'm so bad at loose ends. Renee knows.
But you're not, because you
Oh,
always hold me
really?
accountable. Like you will always come back and be like, "Where
Oh,
are we on this project?" Like you will be.
everybody's accountable in my corner. Yeah, that's true.
Yes, you keep
I'm like,
people accountable.
deadlines, baby, deadlines. We're following.
Yes. Like you're like also, and you're also just really smart too. I mean, you're just like
Thank
really a
you.
brainiac, you know
And
what I mean?
I just, by the way, I could say all these things about Renee. And also I think the reason that we honestly
Thank you.
got along well though, Renee, is because of
Mhm.
that right and left brain, because there are
Yeah.
so many people that try to go to Hollywood and they don't have it's
Yeah.
called show business, not show talent. A famous actor told me that once. He was like,
Oh, okay.
it is
Cool.
show business because this is a business, and always
Mhm.
said that to me. It was like, I asked him what his biggest recommendation for me was, like, what is like your biggest piece of advice? And he said, it's business, treat it like one. And I think people
Wow.
have that business mind, which is probably
Mhm.
why we've always, like, we meet deadline. Like Renee was like, I'm going to start Tardon Media Network last week. Okay, I'm going to start All of Us Media. And she was like, okay, guess what exists now?
Yeah, they both
All of Us
exist.
Media.
It really happens, but it's like iron sharpening iron, because honestly, I didn't have
Yeah.
that confidence a year ago. You were really instrumental in getting me to my
Oh, I'm
confidence,
so glad. You were
really.
too. I tell everybody, I'm like, I would have given up if it wasn't for Renee. Like
That's
nobody's
how
doing
I
it.
feel too. Like that's how I feel too, because
Yeah.
for me to see someone who you tick all the boxes, so you're magnetic and you're charismatic and you're funny and you're warm, you're inviting and smart. Yeah, it's like I know, but that's what I'm trying to be you when I grow up. I mean, that's kind of what's
Oh
going
my
on.
God. But like same, I mean, I'm speaking to the choir here.
No, yeah, right. But here's the thing. But I wanted to talk about substitution, because we're talking like actress and actor language right now. But the substitution thing, where you talked about how, and I think this goes for all artists, not just actors, but having life experience to draw upon, and the power of substitution exercises as an actor. Your life, I mean, here's the thing. Every now and then, we'll splash something about your life, but honestly, your life itself could be a Hollywood blockbuster. It's like, and you have all these arcs, all these victories and all these
I have a
seeming
lot of
tragedies, but then you always come back. It's like you're the comeback kid.
uh,
And I do think your spirituality is a part of it. I do think that the you believing in yourself is a part of it. But like, what do you attribute this sort of like, you always, because they always say in success, it's not about how many times you get knocked down, but how many times you pull yourself back up. What do you attribute that to? And were you always like that?
I've never not been like that, to be honest. I mean, it
Really?
wasn't easy. Like I did, like I did mention before, I did have like a pretty challenging childhood, and
Right.
I moved around a lot. It was just a mess. And
You've been as public speaker about
yeah,
certain
I
issues
was
or whatever. I mean, did
yeah.
you want to talk about any of those here,
Yeah.
or what do you?
So, I mean, when I was a public speaker, I actually started my career. So I honestly, this is going to sound so sad. I thought about being a teacher, but then I went, I don't think that there's only a few teachers that get hired for every school. So I'm not going to do that because I don't think anyone would hire me. Like my confidence
Wow.
pretty
Wow.
far from being an actress, right? And then I
Yeah.
said, okay, well, there's a lot of therapists out there, so I could at least land a job if I chose that. And I don't think, and I might be smart enough to do it. Like my confidence was so bad. It was really sad
Mhm.
when I was a kid. And um, I became a motivational speaker actually before so when I was working in the therapy, I was doing I started out actually as a peer mentor and a certified peer specialist. Then I moved up to doing like coordination and running events and working with statewide committees on funding and stuff like that. But I started as a peer, which is when you use your lived experience to support others. And through that, there's a lot of motivational speaking. So I did go around New England and do a lot of speeches on my life and resilience. I actually have resilience like tattooed on my wrist. And I think it's just it was like an innate trait because people have always been like, you never gave up. And it never even occurred to me that I could. Like it didn't seem
Wow.
as like an option was giving up. It
Mhm.
always seems like that wasn't even in the cards, which sometimes is a little hard because what will happen is I'll say I'm gonna do something out loud, and once I say it, it's just like a train that won't stop. And
Mhm.
then I don't but then I can like I can't say too many things out loud because then I'll just keep building and then there's too
Right. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
so there's an art to quitting things and to leaving things, but so I struggle more with the other end of that where I'm like, I never give up too much.
Right. No,
But
I get
life in
that.
general, it's been a blessing. It's really I don't I've typically though I've experienced a lot of anxiety and depression and
Mhm.
like mental health challenges myself, motivation doesn't ever really seem to go for some reason. So I'm really grateful for that.
Yes, you're so, like, enthusiastic and you're always motivated. When I think of you, I mean, even when I was talking to John before this, I said the word motivated. Like, it's just I think of you, I think of motivation. And I think of that scrappiness, what you're talking about. It's like you where you don't give up, that sort of tenaciousness. And that's something that really inspired me because if you don't have that, then, if you give up every time that you come into a wall, like when John introduced you and he talked about you just raising through all these walls, just going through them, it's like that's why you're successful. Because most people, myself included, you start coming against something and at some point you just say, okay, that's enough. I'm done, whatever. You don't do that, and you said you've always kind of been like that. So is that kind of like a DNA thing, or does that go back to a specific
Yeah, I
defining moment for you?
I think it does, because even especially like my younger years, I was bullied a lot. It was kind of like things weren't really great at home, and
Mhm.
I think that it wasn't like I'd go to school and it wasn't good, then go home and it's not good, and then
Mhm.
there's like, there's just all the struggles of like broken home, broken, school, and in that, um, instance, I found that I was kind of just always having to get back up on the horse. So, growing up, all I did was get back on the horse, so it was like there that I just thought I think that because that was in my first 6 years of life, it kind of became my personality. So it was like, I don't really see barriers anymore. Everything's just kind of something I can do, which has been a
Right.
whole experience. So like what a blessing my upbringing gave me. I mean, it would have been much worse if I was given like a picket fence. So I'm
Right.
grateful to not have a picket fence. And by like just full disclosure, I have a very good relationship with everyone in my bio family now, actually, and
Awesome.
everybody that I like went to school with the bullet. Like I hold zero grudges. So like we are all good. So
I was gonna say that about you too. Another vibe I picked up from your spirit, like right when I met you, was you're not a judgmental person and you're not an angry person. Like you're not constantly judging people or comparing yourself to people or competing with people. You're more of an open-hearted person who brings everybody in. You're a sharing person. And I love that. Like, that's so beautiful because in life, like when you hold on to grudges and you don't forgive, forgiveness is really for ourselves so that we can create an open space so you can just move forward. Otherwise, you're just always staring at that wall. And I think that's another reason you're successful. I do have a question though about acting, because we're going to transition into a really cool announcement soon. But
Oh yes, we are.
we are. It's going to be so cool. So talk a little bit about. I want to know. This is just for me. I really want to know what roles, because you really do get a lot of work. You're a working artist. You're a working actor, and that's a big deal. What roles or what type of roles have you had trouble with? Because to me, I'm just like, you just knock it out of the park. I mean, you've let me read for some of your auditions and stuff,
Oh,
and they're so diverse. And I've never seen you like struggle. So,
I could
do
tell
you
you.
struggle?
Yes. Oh,
Okay,
yes, I struggle.
good. I'm glad,
Okay.
because otherwise, I'm like, damn it, she's perfect.
Okay, let me tell you. If I'm supposed to be like smooth or cool, I'm very gritty. I'm a very quirky, gritty person. Like I have
Okay.
all my acting coaches say you got the grit, which is usually like, well, for what I do, it's a good thing. Like you want grit for being like
Yeah.
a more funky person. But
Mhm.
if I was playing like the cheerleader, no, nope. Nothing that's like I wouldn't be like Grease Lightning, go Grease like that. That wouldn't be a thing.
You don't want to have it all
Um,
together. You don't like roles where the person
oh,
has it all together.
I couldn't. I don't think I would know how. Listen when I leave a room. Oh my god, it's so bad. Like for me to get out of the house, it's such like I have like half of my backpack hanging off. I'm holding like a phone, but then also a water bottle. Something just fell out of my pocket. I'm going the wrong way. I didn't shut the door. Like it's bad. Like I
I can relate. I
it's
get it. I
so
get it.
bad. Yeah,
That's what's so endearing about you,
too
though.
much. Like, hello, I'm this. It's like I'll be like, but then like I'll be looking like that. Like, hi, I'm the lead head producer on your commercial. Nice to meet you. But on the whole, like I look like a disaster, and they're all like, they're actually everybody's been. I mean, lovely. I mean, I am who I am, but like I feel like it's just this really odd scene when you see me like trying to like hold everything and make spatial relationships with the
Make
world.
spatial
I,
relationships.
I'm like, I don't
But
get it.
but that's the endearing quality, right? Because absent that, you're not as special, right? So that's one of the right,
That is
somebody
very
who's
special.
somebody who has no rough edges, no eccentricities, no quirks. It's really kind of bland. And in show business, precisely, I mean, particularly in show business, you want to be able to capture somebody's attention, right? But
Right.
that's the Jessica thing from New Girl, right? I mean, I think that you're a lot different. You have your own thing. You're very unique. You're not just Zoe Deschanel all the time. But that's that sort of endearing quality where you want somebody to be a little bit interesting, and that's what you're talking about right now, where you're also welcoming and interesting and all that.
Yes, thank you. My personality, who I am in person, is very much who I play in character, which sounds like I'm not acting, but like trust me, there's a whole lot that goes into acting that's not just like that. You typically do best when you do use your personality traits and like your natural authentic self. So I
Mhm.
play the quirky best friend. Like it was funny. I actually when I met Chris Neville, who was like our first acting coach,
Yes, shout out Chris
he
Neville.
said you could book quirky best friend tomorrow. And the first big role I booked was a TV pilot called Back Bay. And I was the quirky best friend to the main character. And then
Yeah.
another quirky best friend and another like quirky sister, uh, quirky like mom, like young
Mhm.
mom. It's all I do. It's a hopeless romantic involvement though. Like I'm kind of like in all these crap relationships too. So
So like this, but also like the manic pixie dream girl sort
oh
of.
yeah. Oh,
A lot of
100%.
that. Can you explain that trope a little bit to people who
Yes.
might not know
I
it? Yeah.
play so a lot that trope gets a lot of crap these days because it's like the trope is essentially a woman who is very eccentric, very typically like an artist. I'm sure me
Right.
and Renee kind of in real
Tick some of that.
life.
Yeah.
And
I get that a lot from people
yeah,
too. That's why I ended up knowing what it
yeah,
was, because people would, yeah.
right. We both
But usually not the main focus of a story, right? Usually
know
not the main focus. The
you're a
main focus usually the
supporting.
man, or yeah, you're usually more
Yes.
of a support in that role is what we're talking about.
Yes,
Manic
you're a
pixie dream
supporting
girl.
role. Um, so Zoe Deschanel has played a lot of them. They're very
Yep.
creative, very funky. They
Mhm.
see the world in a different way, and then they typically will teach the protagonist, who is usually a white male, which is why we get like Manic Pixie
That's
Dream.
the political thing that I'm trying to talk about. Yeah,
Right.
that's
And
the
then so this woman helps them see the light and like supports them in making this big like change in their perception of the
Mhm.
world. And then typically the woman either leaves or the man dumps the woman, and then they're out of the light. It's like they're just like this little fairy that comes, fixes everything. They see the light
Yeah.
and they go away.
So you
So
advance to the next level. The man usually gets to advance to his
yes.
next level. So that's why it's kind of like a dream girl. Like she's just there to advance him.
Yeah. So I've
Mhm.
played that a lot.
Right. Yep.
For better or worse. And
I've
like,
played that in real life. I've played that in real life a
no.
lot, by the
Oh,
way.
man, that's my number one role here.
Yeah, it's like so it
Um,
is a real thing in real life. Yeah.
yeah, for both of us. We're a little
Mhm.
20 here. So I think we look
Yeah.
like sisters. What do you guys think?
I do. I think so. I'm looking at it
We're
right
both
now. But
Eastern European.
I know we are. I love that. Like I was taking like shots on my bike today, and I was sending them to Dennis, and I said, and every fucking shot, I was like, I look so ethnic. Why do I look so ethnic? He's like, it's a good thing. I'm like, I know,
Very
but
good
like when
thing.
you look, and I agree with that, but like my whole life, I was like, could I just
I
look
know.
like a wasp? Could I just be a wasp?
I'm so glad you're not, Renee. And like honestly, so I don't know if we talked about this on another show, but like so I own a production company called All of Us Media, and it's actually all about diversifying media. So
Right.
for fashion brands and increasing sales. So that's like my day job. And I make commercials for fashion brands, but my big thing is that I want to include diversity. I want to include people of all races and all ethnicities and all sizes, shapes, genders, ages in media that's for fashion, because fashion has been really whitewashed. And even though
Yes.
there's like inclusivity, it still needs some help. Like, I mean, we've all seen those Instagram filters that give you abs now. Like it's a disaster.
Oh my
There's ones
gosh.
that make you
Yes.
tighter. There's ones that make you younger. And like what I want to celebrate is all of us looking the way we are. Of course, like, put on makeup, get your Botox, do your thing, like whatever. But I'm not saying like we don't need to do these things to be honored and beautiful. So Renee, I think you are beautiful the way you are. And
Thank
you
you.
belong in media.
Thank you. Thank you. You did something on TikTok or IG last year, which just drove me wild. I was so proud. I was so excited. You had your unshaved legs or whatever. I mean, you look so beautiful, but you like
Oh,
showed that or something. And then
okay.
there was one time that Mike, you and I were just in like a group chat, just privately.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you took a picture of your face from below, which if anyone's ever done that, you know what that looks like, right? Like if anyone just takes a selfie
Look at
from
this angle
below,
right now,
it
guys.
was like that.
I know
And
I have makeup on, but like
it was beautiful too, by the way. No matter
I
what
can
you do,
still
you
I
look beautiful.
know.
But you sent it to us, and this was the caption that you put on that. You said the real me. And it was so cute. And I just said, gosh, you're so confident, you're so bold. And the more you do that, the more beautiful you look. So what you're teaching
Oh,
us in All of Us Media is by embracing our authentic selves, no matter how we look, no matter how God actually made us, how we're actually creative, there's beauty there. And what you're trying to do in All of Us Media is to remind humanity of the beauty of nature and how we actually look, so that people can, be proud of who they actually are, as opposed to these crazy expectations that are just a filter or are just, they're not realistic, and causes a lot of eating disorders and a lot of health problems,
right.
as we know in the fashion industry, right?
Oh my
So
God.
it's so great.
Light. All I want to do is be a light in Hollywood. Like I want to get to Hollywood so I can be like, all right, guys, we're gonna raise our vibes, because like we
Raise
all
it.
know Hollywood needs some.
We need to raise the emotional, the EQ, the emotional quotient there, but also that spiritual quotient. And now, but I need to say, because we're running up on the end here,
We have
we
to
got
make
to do the
this.
unveiling, because we're talking about your acting, talking about your producing and all your writing and stuff. And there's this incredible thing on the horizon. Take it away. It's so cool.
Okay, so I am so excited to finally share this. As many of you know, I have been in a few pilots, so I've already shot one of them. Back Bay. And then there is, I'm in another one and I'm playing a quirky role in both, but I was recently cast in a third pilot and it is called Group. So Group is really cool and it has this really fantastic producer. You might know her name, Renee Jaworski, who is also going to be on as an executive producer.
Yay!
So
Thank you.
so after I was cast on this project, so I'll tell you a little bit more about the project in a second, but what happened was we'll start at the beginning. All right.
Yeah.
I'll back up a little bit. So
And it's called Group, just to remind everyone. She said Group. Yes.
So I was on set recently shooting a commercial with this phenomenal director. I know he's done a bunch of stuff in LA. He's worked with tons of names. He's very, very humble, but very amazing. And one of the best writers like I've ever met, probably the best writer I've ever met. Right. I mean, he's ridiculous. So,
oh yes.
Oh my God.
I know you're,
yeah. He'll write a commercial for me in like 10 minutes and I'm like, it's perfect. Like I don't
witty, funny, brilliant, unique.
So, and he writes for female,
which is hard for men to do. I'm very judgy about that because a lot of men do not do it well.
Yes. So
he's in the female psyche. I don't know how it happened.
I
but
know.
It's true.
I don't either, but he's fantastic. So anyways, so he saw me. I was actually acting in this and I was playing a quirky mom. And he saw after I was on set, he was like, you know what? You're really perfect for this pilot. I'm writing it. And I want you to audition. I got the role. And then he was like, you have a production company. We were just working on this commercial together. I need some more producers. Will you hop in? And I was like, yes. But like, I think I know somebody you should talk to too. And then Renee.
Yeah.
So finally, after these years, we have our first huge project together.
Huge. This is A-list, like A-list.
Yes, we have some pretty big names we're talking to. It's getting really excited. We are almost, we are not fully greenlit yet, but we are getting there. And
on the end there, right there.
Yeah. We're getting there. It's going up. Mm-hmm. So we're very excited. But what's really cool about this and why Renee is just going to be so integral to it. Not just, first of all, it's a sitcom and Renee and sitcoms. Like,
my entire life revolves around wanting to be associated with a sitcom. And so to be an EP on a sitcom is like my dream come true.
Yes.
Literally my dream come true.
I was like, I need to connect you and see if this is a good fit. And they instantly got a lot. It was perfect. So,
yes.
And then the other really cool thing is that, so as I shared a lot today, I've struggled with my own mental health. I've had like a lot of issues with like PTSD and anxiety and trauma. And many of us have, especially because all of us are going through this collective trauma right now. And it's been very isolating. So what this pilot is about is post-pandemic life, group therapy. So while it is a sitcom and it's going to be light and it's going to be funny, it will not be making fun of mental illness. All of the wit, listen, Brian's a better writer than that. Like he doesn't have to pick on mental illness to make something funny. So like,
no cheap shots, no cheap shots.
Like it's going to be like really tasteful, but it will have this piece of it that while it's going to be like a lighthearted sitcom post pandemic. So it's like, thank God, no more of this awfulness.
Yeah.
It's going to have to do with being healing as a group and using therapy and bringing what our hope is that we want to bring awareness to mental illness and that so people can feel comfortable coming forward and getting help. And we even want to put like in the credits, like a bunch of like resources and stuff for people that are struggling. So it's going to be very witty and very funny and have kind of like a New Girl, Kimmy Schmidt kind of Friends feel, but then also have a more serious undertone where we are going to be supporting people in after being in isolation for so long to get group and to get help.
Right. And I love the name Group because we're all coming out of this isolation. We're all coming out of these mental health, issues and everything like that. And to even just have the word group, it just feels so beautiful. People coming together to heal. That's what that means to me, is people coming together to heal and also to get rid of the stigma of mental illness. Can we please get rid of the fucking stigma?
Why? How? It's killed more people than this pandemic has. Like
exactly.
It's absolutely one of the most deadly things on the planet. And I mean, look at overdose rates. Look at suicide rates. It's absolutely through the roof. It's horrible. And this is a way that us as creatives can give to the world and destigmatize. So we're not only going to make sure that so a lot of like the potential cast and the already cast people, we have like a very good variety. It's not all shocking. It's not all gorgeous, perfect looking Barbies. Nope. Not in our sitcom. Like,
No.
we got diversity and we have
Mhm.
authentic problems, and we're going to show that you can get help. So like my character is struggled with the post-pandemic. I was losing jobs. I was having a lot of issues, and I was sent to group therapy, and we want that to be on TV. So we're going to
Exactly. So here's the thing. It's like we're really ramping up. I mean, this to me is a movement. This is something I greatly believe in because of all the reasons we just talked about. It's great art, it's great humor, great casting, great writing, all of that. So it's all of that plus this amazing way to actually help one another and save lives. Let's save lives. Let's tell people you can go get help. I mean, I'm a 12-step person, so I believe in this. I mean, it's like we need, we always say in 12-step that addiction is bred in isolation. You need to get help. You need to talk about things. And artists, need one another. A mental health crisis in the artist community, that's consistent. We know that artists tend to suffer from this and a lot of times go inwards on themselves or don't know who to talk to. So I believe in it on both levels, both just the artistic integrity and then also actually helping people. So how can people, if people are as revved up about this as I am, I mean, what's the first step if anyone wants to contribute in any way or benefit this or make sure that it actually happens? What can they do?
So for right now, so as I mentioned before, we are still fundraising and we're still taking donations. And we have a few more investors we're talking with, but we've already reached about 10,000. So it's going really well. But we absolutely need, as much as we can to like really get this off the ground. We are working with a sales agent that works with NBC. He's put a bunch of stuff on there, and that's really like our hope for it. Like the home will be NBC, according to our sales agent. The best way to help right now is so we're mostly accepting we are accepting donations through my personal Venmo is where we're funneling it to, and then we're putting it in my company because then we don't have to pay the fee.
I like this. I like this little thing. I love that. That's so
I don't
cute.
want anyone paying a stupid fee, but I send receipts and stuff. So we're taking any sorts of donations. We are looking for a few more, one or two more executive producers.
Join the cool kids. Join the club. We need them. That means you would be able to. I mean, that means executive producers. They weigh in. Their voices are heard. They get to steer the vision. This is this is vision work. Yeah.
No, we're trying to, do the best we can with that, and anything you can give would be just so.
So how can they reach you? How can they reach you?
Me. So, is there a way to put it on the screen, the little?
Yeah, John, can you put it on the or actually, yeah, you know what I'll do?
I can do that right now.
Coming back. Okay. Let's see.
I'm doing that right now.
Okay, so John is going to do it right now. Tell John.
Wait, so I tell John? All right.
Yeah, tell him right now. He's on the screen and he'll type it in there. There we go.
Oh, you're the best.
Just for everyone who can see it.
I know what it is.
And we want to say hello to the replay squad. We are live right now, but hi to the replay squad. Overnight, we get people coming in.
Hi, replay squad.
We love you.
Olive Chiachia, and then you just put group in the caption. So it's @ Olive Chiachia. So it's just my name. There's no spaces or anything in it. But if you are interested in like either being in it or having any sort of like acting in it, or if you are interested in being a producer of any sort, just definitely reach out to me personally. Or Renee. Renee is also a producer. We're both equal.
Right. Anytime I can always connect you. Yes. So definitely I'm also there. So me or even this guy right here, John Phipps, who he's our first responder. He's the one right there in the thick of it. He will get you connected to Olive and to me. He's a first responder.
Don't hesitate to reach out. You can also join my class. So it's kind of like a class / like show. I'm going to be starting it this Tuesday at 9. Is that correct?
John, did we solidify her?
We have not solidified a time yet, but we should be doing that very soon.
Yeah, tomorrow I would say we would be 100% certain of that.
Yeah. Okay, so it's probably gonna be Tuesday. Tuesday?
Tuesdays, I think, is the
All
day
right.
we definitely
So-
are going to do.
Yes,
Yeah.
Tuesdays at 9.
So starting
And that's
Tuesday-
Abundant Artists. Yeah, that's
It's gonna
Abundant
be
Artists.
Yes, abundant
Yes.
artists. So for abundant artists, you can always reach out to me through that as well. I'll be a very big part of the community. Moving. That was one of my biggest New Year's resolutions, besides getting group off the ground, was to be a bigger part of Tardanverse.
Yes, we're so
Oh.
happy to see you. Gosh, we're
So happy to
family.
be
It's
here.
incredible. So
Oh,
everyone's going to be
and,
seeing.
one
a lot.
exciting news thing is that
Mhm.
we are going to be doing like a lot of fundraising, but like
Mhm.
with some donations already coming from the network here.
Yep.
We're actually going to be featuring Tardon Media Network in the pilot.
Yes, the building is called the Tardon Building. You're going to see a lot.
Are you kidding me?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
going to be
Holy
almost
cow.
like metaverse. Like it's going to be meta. It's going to be very meta.
We'll change it. Well, that was why I was glad I asked you guys, because we'll have to make sure that when we print the stuff for the buildings, it's going to say Tardanverse, not Tardon Media Network. So
we could decide either way, whatever way looks the coolest. And then,
Dennis Tardon is a character in Hint. Like we actually are like full on throwing.
I love everything about this. It's
Yes,
making me
we do.
crazy.
It's actually, and the more we're able to and the more money we raise, the more we're going to be able to like push that, like maybe make some mugs or have
like merchandise and like it's going to be a cultural revolution. I'm so fucking serious.
Yeah. So
this is all I'm going to be talking about for like a long time, because I'm just passionate about it. And it's wonderful.
Yeah.
And then like you're saying, it's like a real life thing, and it can parallel our real lives and stuff. And so we're open to hearing what people have to think, and the fans being able to speak their minds. Yep,
absolutely. Just let me
get
know.
in touch with her and tell her what you think. Tell her.
Yes, thank you.
And follow her on IG. Follow her. Put that up again, John.
So my IG.
Put her little.
It's at my name. It's yes, that's my IG.
Follow her on IG. You'll see a lot of cute fashion shots too, because she's adorable. So there's a lot of eye candy going on that IG.
Also just like reach out and say hi. I'd love to meet all you guys. So it's been such a blessing to
Olivia, we are
I know,
so
we love having you.
blessed.
And Tuesday she'll be back, everybody. So if you're addicted to her like I'm addicted to her, come on back on Tuesday and you'll be seeing a lot more of Olive.
Thank you.
Thank God. The world needs more Olive.
Powered by Women coming up, and then
she's going to be on Powered by Women. Yes, she's going to be empowered by women. She's going to be, we're going to be talking to her like all the time. It's ethical stalking again. So it is ethical. We don't want to encourage. We don't want to encourage bad stalking, but it's good stalking. It's fandom.
Oh, this has been so much fun.
I know. So excited.
Olive,
thank you.
Thank you so much for joining our team here.
Cute.
You are going to be such a powerful asset to this network. And I cannot wait to see how high your star rises, and yours too, Renee.
Well,
you two are both primed for glory, and I can't wait to see the heights you two reach.
Thank you so much. He's being modest. Jonathan is a star. So.
He is a fucking star, and his selfies are eye candy too. And his selfies on his IG are like hotter than fucking Mars.
Here's the thing. Yes. Renee always talks about, I've got only one good angle.
I have one angle.
No, I'm the one that has the one good angle. I turn like so and just look straight into the camera because it's the only angle I got that doesn't make me look like an ogre.
Okay, all right, that's enough.
Listen, we all have really bad angles. It's
we all have weird angles.
That's true.
I got some weird ones.
So, ladies and germs, wait about 5 more minutes, and you will see that lady right there next to me on the premiere episode of my brand new show, Under the Influences.
Yeah.
We will be talking about REM and her and how the American Fab Four from Athens, Georgia impacted that lady right there. And in particular, we are talking about REM's seminal debut LP, Murmur.
Murmur.
Oh my
So
gosh.
that is
I've been
going
wanting
to
to
be
hear this
awesome.
forever. I'm so
I know. Isn't it cool?
listening.
All right, 4 minutes. We will be there.
Yes.
We will be back on this
Oh,
network.
let's go.
Bye. Love you guys.